Oh my gosh, some people would call this quite a collection. Quite a collection, Jake.
Thanks. I'm pretty excited about it.
Hello, plant friends. My name is Jimmy. I'm a doctor and tropical plant hobbyist in LA, and this channel is about plants. So there's no doubt that indoor gardening and indoor houseplants has seen a huge resurgence recently. And there's probably a lot of factors that we can talk about that contributed to this. We can talk about like indoor decor and this trend where like people are bringing greenery and nature indoors and incorporating it into their living space. We can talk about smaller living areas in urban metropolitan centers where people have smaller spaces and smaller lawns, so it's a little bit more difficult to have flowering plants or cacti or trees, fruit trees, right? And people have to look more towards these smaller indoor houseplants. Probably like one of the most important is social media, right? So before Facebook, before Instagram, these amazing plants were just in their private collections, and the only people that were able to appreciate them were their growers or friends and family, just like a handful of people, right? And now with social media, we see these amazing plant pictures, right, of these like gorgeous specimens, and we're like, oh my god, that's like, I want that, I need that plant in my life, right? I feel like a lot of plants in a lot of people's collections were acquired or inspired because of social media and these amazing pictures that we were able to see. So I recently visited my friend Jake's place. Jake is Keep Your Plants on _LA on Instagram. Amazing guy, very, very passionate, very, very involved in the hobby, and unbelievable plants, right? If you're not following him on Instagram already, definitely give him a follow, because you're definitely missing out on some gorgeous pictures of ridiculously rare plants. This is the second part of what I'm calling the Jake series. The first part was on lighting and humidity. Definitely do not miss out on that episode. Watch it. I'll put it in the link above and in the description below. Lots of really good information about a topic that I get asked about a lot, that Jake gets asked about a lot. The second episode is going to be about social media and the plant community. Okay, so let's hear what Jake has to say about this.
One thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about you coming over here, is really what a role Instagram and social media has played in the hobby, and interviewed for the Huffington Post where, they were talking about that. And to me, like, the intersection of the plant collecting hobby and social media for me has been really amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And not just the social component. I mean, it's been cool. I mean, I've made friends. Here you are, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've met a lot of people that I wouldn't have met, and I've actually developed genuine friendships with people through this hobby.
Yeah.
But I also, like, as I think about my collection and how the collection has evolved, I have this amazing resource of tens of thousands of collectors that are at all different stages of their development with collecting. So, like, I think about, for example, I'll give you an example. So I got this. This is one of my favorite plants, right? So this is my Monstera Obliqua, and when I got it,
which form is this one?
This is a Peruvian form.
The Peruvian form. Yeah.
So when I got it, it was tiny. Mm-hmm. I was early in my plant collecting, journey, and it was when these plants weren't so crazy expensive. But it really struggled when I first got it, and I freaked out, and it was well beyond my skill set at that time. And I'm buddies with these guys that own a shop in Canada called Houseplants. And I was chatting with them, and they, just on Instagram, and they totally guided me through reviving the plant. And, and I think, and I can tell you, like, there are stories I have like that of a lot of my plants where, different collectors that have been, like, Gretchen, who Greenhouse Girl, has been a fantastic resource to me. There's a lot of really experienced folks that have been in this for a long time, that have really helped me, even to this day. I mean, I consider myself fairly experienced at this point, but I'm still learning, and I get plants that pests are a big part of having a plant collection, and having resources like my friends, my friend Libby, who literally, we just had a conversation a couple of days ago. I've been struggling with some spider mites lately, and she kind of guided me through what they do, for spider mites. So it's neat to not just have the social component of it.
Yeah.
I think back to collectors like 10 years ago, you'd have to go into your local garden center, find other, collectors through other channels. And now it's like I've just got this app that I can turn on. And also, reciprocating that, right?
Of course.
Like I get
of
hit
course.
up all the time.
Yep.
People asking me what soil mix I use. Or,
it's a community, right? It's like you.
It is. It's a community, but it's also just this great like resource bank of folks that know their stuff. And, and also, so there's the aspect of people knowing their stuff, but there's also the aspect of like the method of discovery is really friggin' cool of seeing plants that I didn't even know existed. You probably saw a number of cuttings here that I have. Eric, Aeroid Daddy, we did a trade, and not only did he send me the cutting that we traded for, but he sent me like 6 more cuttings, and there's just a lot of people like that in the plant community that are just so generous and excited to share their collection and cuttings with folks. So.
I mean, I think in the plant community, definitely kindness does go around. Right, like
Absolutely.
you contribute to it, and it pays you back. You give people the help that they need, and then
It's important to me. I mean,
kindness, respect, consideration. It goes such a long way in this hobby. I tell people that if you're neglecting the social component, if you're just enjoying your plants just by yourself, if you're not interacting with people, you're really missing out on such a huge part of the hobby. Turn it into something that's social and integrative into your life. And I think that's how you get the most out of this hobby. Like Jake said, right? When he was starting the hobby, a lot of people helped him out. And now that he's a more experienced grower, he's helping out a lot of people who have their own problems or are going through what he did. And he's contributing back to this community that's helped him along his planting journey. So the more integrative you are in the community, people will help you out back. People will help you find your plants. People are more likely to give you lower prices or free cuttings. Or this isn't an invitation to ask for free cuttings or free stuff, right? And this is not me saying that you should go out and also like give away free cuttings or free stuff to people, right? That's not it, right? There are many ways for you to be a part of the community, to be kind, to be courteous, to be respectful without giving or receiving or demanding, free stuff, right? Jake is pretty far along in his planting journey where, he has a lot of amazing plants and they're growing really, really well. And he's at a place where, he can, give away, cuttings here or there, right? And then there are also other people that are like Jake who have such amazing collections that are growing like crazy, and they can, afford or give away some cuttings. But that shouldn't be expected, right? Like I feel like, if you went around asking people for free cuttings or demanding free cuttings or free stuff and disrespecting the hard work and time and resources that they put into their plants, you're not going to get that far, right? You're not going to be doing well on the social element, the relationship building element of this hobby, okay?
The thing is, I love having people over to see my plants, but that's hard to coordinate, right? I'm busy, people are busy, and so to have this platform, for anybody that follows me on social media, I don't post a lot about myself, or that's just not really my brand, so to speak, on Instagram. I just love sharing.
You sort of just do your thing. I know that you just share like lots of stories. Just showing, showcasing all the unique leaves that you have. And I mean, given how amazing your collection is, I know you to be a super, super modest guy. And I'm sure that tons and tons of people just bother you or ask you questions all the time. And I know that you spend, I really
enjoy it. I love chatting with people. I love,
you spend a lot of time with, people who follow you, and
I think it's important. Like I think back to that story of the guys from Houseplants, helping me out with, with this little, Obliqua cutting that, quite frankly, I was ready to throw away, because I just was like, this thing is not going to make it, and it's stressing me out. And, and I think it's important that we pass that forward. I think as the craze has really taken hold, a lot of new collectors come in, there are some folks that I've experienced in the plant world, and this is just my experience, who are a little bit like arrogant about their plant knowledge or their plant collection. And to me, that's not who I am, and that's not the approach that I want to take. I think that everybody's got to start somewhere, right?
Well, I don't even think that's the approach that even like the old timers want to take. Like we were both at the we were both at the Aroid show this year, right? And like I don't know what your experience, but my experience when I talked to them, they were so welcoming, so warm about.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and they were so happy about like new blood and new millennials, and just random people, entering this field and this passion that they've had for decades, right?
Yeah, and I was, for me, that was the most exciting part of going to the Aroid show, is meeting people like Jungle Berry and Enid and these folks that are not McMitty and folks that are not new to this, right?
Yeah.
That have been doing this for a really long time and and really know their stuff and have tremendous experience. I mean, for me, like, it's cheesy to say, but like meeting Kunzo, the guy from Japan, was like a huge moment. It was really cool. Like, this guy's a friggin' legend.
Yeah.
And, so I definitely have found it was neat to go to that Aroid Society show and to just see the excitement and kind of disbelief from some of the old timers at the sheer number of folks that have gotten involved in this.
Yeah. So the International Aroid Show was this September, and this was the first show that I've attended. Amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I did do a video on it. I'll put it above and also in the description below. If you watch the video, you'll see that I loved the event. I thought it was amazing to have so many plant hobbyists and so much plant passion in one place. Like Jake and I talked about, it was really great to see how warm and welcoming the older generation was. I mean, this was the largest Aroid show to date, right? Since in history, right? And it was like so many youngins and millennials and fresh blood entering this hobby. And for these, the older generation or the longtime hobbyists and collectors, instead of being like defensive or protective, they were so warm and so welcoming. It was absolutely wonderful. So definitely, check out that video if you haven't already. It was great. And definitely watch the video till the end, because there's an auction at the end, and the auction was awesome.
One of my biggest recommendations for folks that are getting involved in this is, while engaging with folks on social media is really exciting, and it's a great resource, and it's kind of a very benign and non-threatening way to get involved. Meeting people in real life is second to none, right? Like, there's nothing that compares to that. Having people over to see your plants, guide you through things, going over to see theirs, going places like the Huntington Library together.
So plant swaps are really fun, guys. I've only been able to go to one because of my work schedule, which is pretty embarrassing to say. I'm definitely trying to go to as many as I can. The one that I did go to, I actually filmed, and I'll link it above as well as in the description below. It was actually in San Francisco, and I flew all the way up to San Francisco. I stayed at my planty friend's place. I was able to make a lot of new plant friends. I was able to meet in person people that on Instagram and Facebook that I've been like talking to, but I've never met in person. That was really cool. What I often hear from people when I tell them about plant swaps or tell them to just go to plant swap is that I feel that they feel a little intimidated. They feel that like, my collection is too small, or I only have common plants, or I really don't have anything to bring or to share or trade. And like none of that matters. Like, bring what you can or what you want to, and also if you don't have anything to bring, that's fine too. Just go for the social element of it. You'll get to meet people and make friends, and also understand that everyone is sort of like at a different stage in the plant journey, right? In the plant hobby. Don't be embarrassed or ashamed or shy about whatever level you're at. Go make friends, and also it's a great opportunity to see plants that you've never seen in real life. So it's It's really good.
So yeah, I guess the only other thing that I would say that can be a little bit deceptive about Instagram or my Instagram or anyone's Instagram, and really probably the best piece of advice I've ever been given around plants is that when you look around at my 350 super healthy thriving plants, there are 100 plants that are that are dead, that have died over the year, and it sucks. But I think that's the part that social media and collectors forget to talk about a lot. And what somebody told me when I first started out is the saying that they said is, behind every green thumb is hundreds of dead plants. Yeah, and that's how you learn.
I thought you were going to say hundreds of dead thumbs. But,
no, just hundreds of dead plants. So it's like, I don't post pictures of my plants when they die.
All right, I think the last thing I want to say for this episode is I want to give a big shout out and thanks to all the viewers of this YouTube channel. It's been quite a journey for me. I'm thankful for everyone who sort of tolerated my video quality as it's gotten better and my content quality. I want to thank everyone, especially who likes, follows, and definitely commented or taking the time to comment. I love how fast this community and how involved this this community or this channel or this channel's community is building. It makes this thing so fulfilling for me, and I really can't thank you guys enough for for just sharing this YouTube plant journey with me. So this is part 2 of the Jake series. Remember, part 1 was about lighting humidity. Don't miss that episode. Seriously, it's so much good information. This is part 2. There's probably going to be I think 5, 6, maybe more parts. So, definitely hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the future Jake series episodes. Yeah, till next time. Happy planting.